So we're going to build one more element here, and we're going to build it the exact same way as we did with the OTS, being a little bit different than we did it in example 1. So to do this, again, what we're going to do is create a new group here, and this time maybe we'll just make a bug. So I'll just call this group bug group, and we'll start here. Now I'm going to throw another group down in here, and I'm going to throw every element into here. So right off the bat, I probably know that I'm going to call this bug, and I'm just going to go ahead and rename that right away. Now let's grab some type of objects here that we can use. So this time a little bit different. We'll just use a Nagi maybe, and we'll adjust this width and these bevels here. I'm just going to adjust all these all the way down. We'll bring this up into the upper left, and if we want to find some type of image to throw on there or a material, I'm just going to use a material here. In this case, it's just going to be used as a backplate. Now I also want to use some type of logo or an image up there, so we're going to also navigate and find some type of image or a logo. So in my folders here, I have a quick little logo. I'm just going to slide this down here and make it right on top of my backplate. So I'm going to move the Z position up a little bit. Maybe we'll change the color here of my Nagi to blue. So I'm just going to maybe lower the height a little bit and reposition that. Okay, not the prettiest, but this is going to get the point across. So again, I'm going to use this to make the call-up scene. First thing that I want to do is have this animate in one way and out the other way. So we're going to have this animate in from the top. So I'm going to go ahead and set a keyframe at the top. It's going to animate down into this state, and then it's going to fly off to the left. So I'm going to go grab my animation in my stage and make its own director. So I'm going to close all of my directors up here and create a brand new director, and we're going to call this one bug. We could call it anything, but for this simple example, we'll just call bug. I have my animation on my bug group. I'm going to select that and slide that animation into my bug director. Now, I'm going to go ahead and merge this into a group a while. So I'm going to select my object tabs up here and select the folder where I want it to save. I'm going to select my group here and hit the merge button. And I'm just going to take the icon and drag it up there. We'll call it bug again. And now what I'm going to do is take my icon or my logo object that I just created and drag that to the trash. I'm going to go into the stage, and I'm going to work with my director here to create the keyframes. You can see our animation is still here, but we actually have no object or any type of design element in here. So I'm going to highlight my director, rewind my timeline to the first keyframe, select the keyframe, say this is in the out state, so it's capital O. I'm going to move my timeline next to the second keyframe, select the director, select add keyframe. We're going to call this one A again. We're going to keep it easy so that every naming convention is the same. And I'm going to move my timeline again, select director, click add stop point, and we're going to rename this stop point to capital O since it's in the out position again. Now that I have my director and my stop points, one last thing that I need to do is to grab the toggle function. So I'm going to go into the containers, grab the toggle function, click on the toggle function, and set default keyframes. I go into my stage. You can see that it created these default keyframes. And again, what we may want to do is adjust these alphas. So in this particular case, I'm actually going to delete these again. So I'm going to come in and highlight my alphas on here, and I'm going to delete that animation. Now I need to be careful again, because if you delete the animation, you're still left with one keyframe. This keyframe that you're left with in the alpha may be at 0. If it's at 0, you won't ever see your object because the alpha is down. So I'm going to readjust this to 100. And I'm going to adjust the other one to 100 as well. You could just leave these alphas there, but it all depends what effect you want when your object animates on. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and next step we're going to do is create the call-up scene for our bug. I'm going to go ahead, create a new scene. Let's just call this bug call-up. We'll say OK. We're going to double click it and open up the scene. First thing I can do is go into my O tab, get on my bug object, drag it down into the scene tree, and click the split container here. Now everything's pretty much set up, so I just need to add the control image. So I'm going to go back and add the control image onto here in case we want to swap out our logo. Once I do that, it adds the control object. So we're going to come into the control object, turn on transition logic, and fill out our elements again. So again, the background scene is called master. I'm going to fill this in. Our layer identifier is our director or toggle group. This is called bug. And our state identifier is called A. So everything looks set up. I'm going to go ahead and save this scene. And now we need to test this once more in Trio. Okay, so I've got my scene imported into Trio here. And I had to make my window a little bit smaller so that we could see everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do a direct takeout on everything. And we're going to start fresh here. So let's try our bug first. So we're going to do a direct take on that. You can see that it comes in, it stops, and when I do a direct takeout, it goes out. Now, obviously, you can notice that we forgot to change our smooth animation to a linear animation. So that's why we get that weird effect when we're animating this thing in and out. Now, with transition logic, this allows you to bring in each individual element by itself. So if you wanted to bring the lower third in now, get rid of the bug, you could bring the lower third in, take out the bug, and then bring in the OTS if you wanted. So you can have these elements transition on and off all day long.